name's Jeremy. The next speaker that you got is it's my friend and one of my guys in recovery. Roland is my brother, and this guy that's gonna speak next is my friend, and he's like a brother to me. You know what I mean? Because we developed some relationships in this program, and he's been with me on this journey, man. And I'm really grateful to have somebody with me on this journey. You know, and it does my spirit real good to have a good friend. You know, because you can't do this program alone. You're gonna need some people. This is the guy that I talk to almost every day. That's what kind of relationship we have. You know, we have an open relationship, man, where we talk about stuff, man. And this guy is able to survive his emotions, you know, and stay clean, man. We talk about everything. We don't use about nothing. We got a policy. We don't use no matter what. We made a pact on that, and we can do that today. You know, that's what recovery is all about. So, it's really nice to be here and be able to present this other guy because, like I said, I got my Roland is my biological brother, and he fired me, sure enough, but that was the best thing for me because it wasn't working out. That relationship wasn't working out, that working relationship. But as a brother, we've grown, and Mark, he's like my brother. He's my other brother. His sister Donna's here, and they have kids at the same age, you know what I mean? So that's just ties us all together, you know. They talk about in our tradition is the ties that bind us together are stronger than those that would tear us apart. All will be well, you know. So I'm really grateful to see it, and I'm excited to hear him speak because I know it's his turn. So without further ado, Mark R.
I'm an addict named Mark. First, I want to thank the God of my understanding for allowing me to be at this SpeakerJam. And I want to thank the addicts who saw something in me and made them believe that I had something to give back to a program that has given me everything. And the topic is recovery and relapse. And I just want to get into the literature just for a second because I don't want you to come out of this confused with my mess. It says many people think that recovery is simply a matter of not using drugs. They consider relapse a sign of complete failure and long periods of abstinence a sign of complete success. We in the recovery program of Narcotics Anonymous have found that this perception is too simplistic. After members had involvement in our fellowship, a relapse may be the jarring experience that brings about a more rigorous application of the program. And and that statement really speaks to the essence of my experience. I came here from, I escaped from the East Coast, Washington, D.C. in particular, and I made a geographical cure. God used my sister to rescue me from the horrors of my addiction. And I came here convinced that if I just moved away from that set of circumstances, it was going to be all right. I was going to get me a job, and I wasn't going to get high. Well, I got a job, and I did get high. I said, I'm sorry, and then I got high again, and then I got kicked out. And she called the police on me, and it's okay because I would have called the police on me. Eventually, I found my way to treatment, and I too am a St. Cloud alumni. And so I live to use and use to live, and so that part of the story we already know. But for me, when I made a decision to surrender. And I don't mean that superficial decision that I made in the beginning. See, because I came into the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous. I remember I was down at Salvation Army, and the first NA meeting that I had an opportunity to attend was the 7-Eleven group. I had to take 2 buses to get there, and I was down there loading trucks for $5 a week. They got good labor out for me. They saw me and said he can load some trucks. So that was a good thing. See, but I hadn't completely surrendered to the program, so on a superficial level, I got a sponsor, and I began to read the literature, and I did some service work, and I was able to put 10 months of abstinence together. See, but the literature talks about how clean time doesn't equal recovery. Recovery is an active change in our ideas, our thinking, and our behavior. And so I had begun to embark on a journey because I really just wanted the pain to stop. You know, I wanted to stop the pain that was associated with my using mind and mood altering substances, but I wasn't ready to change on a profound and deep level. And so when I found myself in an emotional quandary where I didn't know what to do, I went back to what I always knew how to do, and that was use. And what I found was that the seed had already been planted in my life, the seed of developing a relationship with a God of my understanding. And I remember when I took that first one, you know, as I watched the smoke come up, the Jimmy, I remember saying to myself, oh shit, I done did it now. See, because what happened is that gorilla that I had arrested and then put behind bars and had been shaking the cage all that time for 10 months said, I got you now. And I was always known in my lifetime as being a strong man mentally, physically, and spiritually. But what I found is that I am no match for the disease of addiction. You know, if you're an addict like me, one is too many and 1,000 is never enough. And when I pick up that first one, I'm selling everything. And I have it. Everything must go sell. You know, so I understand who I am today. I need to go ahead and get the title for that truck, go to the dope man and find out how much you're going to give me for that now. See, because if I don't, after I get that first one in me, I'm going to give you that truck for 2 bags. And a promise that you're going to bring it back to me in the morning. And I already know how that one ends because I've done that one before. So when we talk about relapse and recovery and relapse, you know, what we're really talking about is we're talking about getting in touch with your reservations, see, because the literature says reservations rob us of the benefits of this program. You know, what are the benefits of this program? You know, there's one promise, but there's many gifts. You know, for me, what I found is that my life is limited only by the size of my God. And the greater God is in my life, the more unlimited my life becomes. I've had some experiences as a result of surrendering to this program. See, if I only got the things that I asked for when I first got clean, when I first went to treatment, you know how you like to make a list about, well, I want to get a job. I want to get a place to live. I'll just do anything. Just let me just have a little taste of freedom. I'd have been selling myself so short, you know. But what has happened as a result of getting in touch with a God of my understanding, he's given me some assignments. And I've had some work that I've had to do in order to have these things happen. First of all, I had to not get high. You know, and I had to not get high when I felt threatened on my job, when I'm dealing with issues that pertain to my emotional security. See, because I got all these issues that come. You know, the literature says that that higher thinking and emotions are highly affected by this disease of addiction. So I come into this process, I'm emotionally immature, you know, I don't know how to process my feelings. And so as a result of that, I had to develop a relationship with a God. I had to use the steps. I heard an addict share talking about how you got to learn to use the steps the same way you use the dope. And you know, and the first time I heard that, I was like, man, what you talking about? I can't smoke the steps. See, but the reality is what he was really talking about is I could use the steps to change the way that I feel. So I engage in a lot of positive self-talk today. You know, and it's a good thing that we live in a society where we have cell phones and earpieces, because otherwise people would think I was crazy when I'm on my way to work and I'm talking to myself, telling myself, get grateful, because it's the 11th day of 12 in a row and I don't want to go. See, but I've been clean long enough now where my creditors know where I'm at. And so I've been blessed with garnishments. I've been blessed with being taken to court. I've been blessed with all of those things. See, all of those things that we like to look at and say, damn, that ain't no blessing. You know, is God good when that relationship goes bad? You know, either God is good all the time or he ain't no good. This is not a program where you get to pick and choose. Well, God's good today because I'm getting what I want. And when things ain't going the way I want to go, man, God ain't shit. You know, recovery is not worth it. See, I had to look at the fact that I've stayed still long enough so that now my name is appearing on all of those credit bureau reports, and they know exactly where I'm at. But the beauty of that is that I can see the light at the end of the tunnel, and it's not an oncoming train. See, because the first thing that I've done, you know, not the first thing I've done, but as a result of working some steps in my life and surrendering to this process, I've stopped making those types of financial mistakes. And so instead of it being a continuing problem, I can see that, hold on, Mark, I'm almost free. See, this is all about a program of being free. How free do you want to be? You know, when I came into the program, all I wanted to do was just be free from the obsession and compulsion to use drugs. But what I'm finding out today is that I get to choose some other freedoms too. See, I don't want to just be a little bit free. I want to have like freedom, like it says, the broader the base, the higher the point of freedom. I want to have like some freedom that's way up sky high, right? And so in order for me to do that, I got to do the things that I don't want to do. You know, so that means I got to sit back and I got to pay some bills that came as a result of my inability to accept personal responsibility in a financial area of my life because I wanted to smoke dope, right? See, I'm not confused. I know I did those things. So I can sit back and rationalize and justify and say it ain't fair. I was telling an addict before I got up here that in the process of setting myself up in terms of my bank so that I could address some of these issues, I put a large sum of money into an account. And because I'm a dope fiend, right? And see, a lot of people don't understand. I don't care how long I'm going to be clean. I'm not confused about this one. See, it's an abnormal state for me as an addict not to be using. So there's going to be, look, I still have drug dreams. Every once in a while I think about, man, it'd be nice to get one. And when I had that large sum of money in there, I would be disingenuous and I would be helping somebody commit spiritual suicide if I didn't tell them that I thought about getting one. Man, I could get a nice one. You know what I'm saying? But I knew at the end of the road, I'd be pushing the stem. At the end of the road, I would have some people that mean some things to me in my life. You know, family and friends and people in my network that would be hurt as a result of my deserting them. You understand what I'm saying? Because I failed to live up to, see, I like to think of myself as a man with some integrity today, and as a result of me abandoning that newfound integrity in order for me to get that instant gratification. See, I'm a dope fiend, and I'm addicted to instant gratification, and this is a delayed gratification process. You know, and so I had to go through this process, man, and I was calling addicts like crazy. You know, I was on the phone talking to my network, and I tell on myself. You know, because they say what grows in the dark dies in the light of exposure. We have all these sayings that we say around here in the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous, and in the beginning they might not make sense, but if you keep coming back, you'll find that they make a lot of sense. You know, this is not a program for those of us who need it, but for those of us who want it. And the price of freedom ain't free. You know, in recovery and relapse, it talks about how complacency is the enemy of those of us with substantial clean time. You know, I don't know about you, but substantial clean time for me meant, you know, hey, let's get one now. Damn, I ain't getting one now. So for me, the whole process of being vigilant, you know, they talk about the price of freedom is eternal vigilance. You know, I have to be eternally vigilant because I'm liable to revert back to my sickest behavior without even taking one. You know, because I understand that I hear a lot of misinformation in the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous. I would really suggest strongly that anybody who's serious about this process get some literature, read that literature, work some steps, and get a sponsor. Because one of the things that I understand today is that I'm not one bad decision away from using. I'm many bad decisions away from using. See, first I gotta stop reading my literature, and I got to stop calling my network, and I got to stop working steps, and I got to stop attending meetings. See, because I'm not going to just all of a sudden jump up and go get one. Because, you know, the question is often asked, are you in the program of Narcotics Anonymous, or is the program of Narcotics Anonymous in you? And see, when the program of Narcotics Anonymous is in you, it messes up your high. You know, I want you to know that when I did relapse, it was the most horrible experience of my life. And it was so horrible that 4 years later, I have not found it necessary to use a mind and mood altering substance. You know, I don't have a story of, man, how I always tease people and say, you know, I wasn't walking down the street one day and said, I wonder what they're doing in Narcotics Anonymous. You know, this is not a place that you go to because you want to do good deeds. It's a place that you go to because you're trying to save your ass. And, you know, we say around the rooms that you can't save your face and your ass at the same time. So, you know, humility and humiliation are not the same thing. But if you don't humble yourself, you will be humiliated. And I've experienced the humiliation that goes with the degradation that goes with being in a position where I have completely put myself at the mercy of a merciless world. I've done things to me that I would never let you do to me. You know, I beat this ass down. You know, and but I'm grateful for the experience. Because that, you know, we talk about reservations. I'm not confused. See, this is a don't use no dope program. I never have to use again. And I'm still here to tell you, I'm never going to use again. Keep coming back and you'll see me. That's a truth. The program tells me that. You know, so what I do is I do what Narcotics Anonymous members do. You know, I go to meetings and I work with men and I read my literature and I speak on the telephone on a regular basis, tell on myself. I take suggestions. I do what I don't want to do. And above all, I don't cop out. You know, I don't sell myself short, not anymore. You know, I don't live my life through the rearview mirror anymore. Talking about if I coulda, woulda, shoulda, and what I woulda did and how I woulda, if only I would have applied myself, I could have been something. You know, I've been on my job today 4 years, and I got a promotion since I've been there. And, you know, the disease of addiction tells me, you know, just as right before I came up here, the disease of addiction was telling me, you don't have nothing to share, man. Sit down and shut up. You know, but I do have something to share today. You know, and I'm grateful for a process that allows me to develop the type of self-confidence that I'm going to need in order to stay clean a day at a time. Thank you for letting me share.
All right, we'd like to thank Mark and Roland for sharing. We're going to take a break to 5:30, and everybody set their watch and be back here at 5:30.
I'm living a good life.